To 2020 presidential election, I just want to talk about the notable names such as Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, Tulsi Gabbard. Talk about the pros and cons from your perspective and what issues they're not really addressing, or is there any at all issues that you feel that they're addressing adequately?
Well, I do think Tulsi is doing a good job of talking about the war machine and the Cold War and all of that. Um, I'm not fully up to date on her other programs. I'm not sure I'm entirely in agreement with them, but she's doing hero's work here on the war. Bernie is mostly on topic for social and economic and racial justice issues. He said a few things about the war machine lately, and that's good. I think he recently proposed that we take Israel's, whatever it is, $11 million a day in U.S. funding to conduct their occupation and war crimes. He's suggested courageously that some of that money come back to the U.S. I mean, I think all of it should be eliminated. None of it should go to war criminals and human rights abusers and so on. So, he's taken some steps in the right direction. He has a good climate policy. However, he calls for 100% clean renewable energy by 2050, and we know that that will give us a 50-50 chance of avoiding climate catastrophe. We need to move with all possible haste. We need to declare a wartime emergency right now. It took us 6 months to transform our economy after Pearl Harbor was bombed. We need to consider this a Pearl Harbor on steroids right now, because this isn't just temporary destruction. This is forever, from which there will be no recovery in the time frame of human survival on this planet. So, that falls short. He recently stated that he would not use the Espionage Act, but he won't talk about the victims of the Espionage Act. I've not heard him say a thing about Chelsea Manning or Edward Snowden or Julian Assange, most critically. So, he gets partway there, but not all the way there. At the end of the day, the real problem here is that he's running in the wrong party. He will be sabotaged. Tulsi will be sabotaged. They are being sabotaged right now. It's really important to build a permanent political force that doesn't get entirely dismantled when the Democratic National Committee conducts its sabotage campaigns. You can't afford to be starting all over again. This has been going on since the Second World War, and the sabotage of Henry Wallace, who was a Democratic Socialist that was about to be nominated during the Second World War, and the microphone was turned off on his nominator, and a fire emergency was declared at the Democratic Convention in 1942, I believe it was. And one after another, there's been a Democratic progressive hero that's always lifted up to sheepdog people back into the Democratic Party. And they, are we moving in the right direction at least? No, we're not even tiptoeing in the right direction. We are taking giant strides in the wrong direction towards greater war and austerity and economic inequality. Racism and segregation is actually worse than it's been for decades here in this country. So this game plan just ain't working, folks. It's time to get with the program and stand up and fight for an America and a world that works for all of us. We actually have the solutions, and we actually have the political momentum if we would have the courage of our convictions and actually stand up and do the right thing.